Attention birders of planet Earth. It's time for Out There with the Birds, the podcast that fills your ears with delicious, nutritious birdie chatter with your hosts, Ben Lizdas and Bill Thompson III. Out There with the Birds is supported by Swarovski Optic, makers of the amazing EL series of binoculars and the BTX spotting scope, which combines the magnification of a scope with the clarity and comfort of binocular vision. Learn more at SwarovskiOptic.com. That's Swarovski followed by opticwithak.com. Tamron camera lenses offer powerful performance that exceeds your imagination. Discover the full line of ultra telephoto zoom lenses at tinyurl.com/tamron-bwd. Red Start Birding is your new resource for birding optics, gear, and expertise. Great birding starts at redstartbirding.com. And support also comes from the Reader Rendezvous Birding Adventures from Birdwatchers Digest. Come birding with us in our favorite places. Learn more at birdwatchersdigest.com/RR. And now, here they are, Bill and Ben.
Okay, Ben Lizdas. Guess
Hey,
what?
Bill.
Guess what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time. It's time to do some podcasting.
How you doing, man?
I'm okay. The last time you and I talked, you were jetting off to Homer, Alaska. So
There's been no moss growing on this stone here.
Nope. So let's hear a little bit about Kachemak Bay Shorebird Festival. What happened up there?
Shorebird Festival is fantastic. You know, one of my favorite things to do at the Shorebird Festival is when they ask me to be a celebrity judge for the bird calling contest.
Oh, yeah.
That's because it's at the Homer Brewing Company. Those folks make fantastic beer. There is the Jackaloff Oyster Company that has a little cart kind of there that sell oysters right out of the bay on the half shell. You're outdoors, and then you get to hear all these people making bird calls.
Right.
Which is fantastic. And
they get into it, as I remember. They get way into it.
But they don't take themselves too seriously, which poses some problems. As judges, they give us two categories: serious and not so serious.
Right.
And what it's intended to be is like, this is legitimate bird call. It's a serious one, versus something completely made up for a bird that might not exist, which might have some kind of political commentary or some aspect of humor or whatever.
Right.
But everyone thinks that I'm going to do my best barred owl, for instance, but because I'm not a pro, it's not so serious. So that's, but anyways. Judging, bird call contests, first world problem. Great time.
Wait, did they make, I got to ask you, did the Homer Brewing Company make beers for the festival or like label them for the festival this year?
So they don't brew a beer specifically for the birding festival. However, they have a very popular red knot Scotch ale there. Okay. Tastes delicious, and it's just kind of in their lineup all year round. Kind of a tip of the hat to all the birders in the strong birding community there in Homer. So not just for the festival, but they do have a bird beer which tastes great. So win-win.
Awesome. Yeah, good.
Yeah. Other highlights. More surf birds than I've ever seen before. I came across this, group of, I want to say maybe 36 surf birds all hanging around, picking stuff off the rocks as the waves were coming in, and then one wandering tattler.
Nice.
And some folks had swung by, some participants at the birding festival had swung by, and I'm like, oh, wandering tattler. One of them amongst all the surf birds, life bird for my friend Adrian Lisak, who was there. So he's like, let me get on that. Showed it to him. The wandering tattler wandered out of the field of view of the scope. I could not find it again to show these other people that were there. It just disappeared in the rocks, despite my looking for it. I know. But then the gentleman who I was trying to find it for said, don't worry about it. And he pulls out this little kind of plastic, bottle of Yukon Jack. It says, here, have a sip.
Nice.
Nice try. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So, it's what? 2 in the afternoon.
There you go. We're almost in the Yukon.
That's right, exactly. Oh, not the finest of spirits, but on a cold, windy day out in the spit in Homer, it was fine.
Right. Oh no, that's great. Well, you're up a few. Those are birds I didn't have for the Out There with the Birds Global Big Ear Challenge trademark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, granted, it's no trip to San Diego or Colombia per se, but I've got my numbers here, and I've got some good birds. So, I keep thinking about as I go over this checklist and add my little measly numbers here. Some of the birds that I'm embarrassed I don't have on there yet. Like how on earth have I made it this far into the year without peregrine falcon?
Really?
No peregrine.
Oh, dude. Okay. Well,
I know, exactly. But whatever. I can still hang my head high because I've got,
I think
pine
I
crust
think
meat.
the phrase is hold your head high, not hang your head high.
Well, I'm going to hold my head high once I get the peregrine
Right.
falcon. I'm going to hang my head high until I get that. Another one of these birds I just can't get over that I've missed so far is Cape May warbler.
Okay. Well, they're
Maybe it's
coming.
because I used to have that in my yard.
Yeah.
It would come to the same spruce tree in my yard every migration for years on end. And granted that spruce tree isn't there anymore, so maybe I deserve it for destroying that bird's habitat.
Well, like we were talking about in the last episode, migration is still happening. I mean, I was coming out of the house today, and there was a lot of singing: Tennessee warbler, Nashville warbler, Blackburnian warbler, Blackpoll warbler. These are all birds that do not nest here in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean,
all right.
there are some Blackburnians way up north, I think, in the northeastern part of the state. Maybe a couple, and I don't. Everything else, I think, is a boreal bird of those ones I just mentioned. But the point is, migration is still happening. So
Yes.
you can very easily pick up that Cape May warbler. Just find yourself a spruce tree. By the way, Bruce Wonderly, our production director for Birdwatchers Digest, I just talked to him about an hour ago. He's back up at McGee Marsh.
Oh, yeah?
And he said it was fabulous until the wind started blowing and the waves started coming on the beach, and they made people leave because, Lake Erie's so shallow that when the wind blows, it kind of sloshes up onto the shore. And so the low elevation stuff there can wash over the causeway and strand a bunch of people out there. So but he said it was fabulous before the wind came up. Once it calms down, it'll be fabulous again.
All right. Well, I might have to get out tomorrow morning then and see what I can clean up on. The problem with trying to spend time birding while attending events like the Shorebird Festivals, and I've got all kind of my official duties I have to do there. There with Red Start, selling optics to people, talking about spotting scopes, this and that, doing the Shorebird calling contest thing, all these kinds of things going on. And in the meantime, I barely got Western Sandpiper. I didn't pick up any Godwits there, not just because I couldn't find him. I just didn't have as much time to look for him as I was hoping.
Right.
So, left some birds on the table there, but whatever.
Yeah, but we'll have to figure out a handicap to put in on this. And,
Probably going to need one.
I do have some ultimate plans for you, which I'm not going to divulge now, but I hold your Global Big Year Challenge TM fate in my hands.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Not going to say anything more about that, but give me your number. Let's find out where you are. People have been pining for this number.
Yeah, 438.
That's good, man.
It's okay. That's all
really
right.
good.
I'm feeling okay about it. Granted, there are 50 easy birds here that I probably just need to go out and get.
Right.
But 438, not bad.
That's really good.
I can feel okay about that, even though there's not a peregrine falcon on there. How about you?
Isn't 438? Isn't that website that Nate Silver runs that talks about the Electoral College and all that?
That might be. It's not talking about our birding challenge, is it? It's the Electoral College.
Right. I thought you were going to come in with 420, but you didn't. So
no, 438.
I'm at 612. That's an estimated number.
I estimate it's way inflated.
Yeah. Well, you would hope that, right? I think I have yet to put in one of my final checklists from Columbia, because I had two different checklists there, but I estimated, so I think it's about that number. It's around 612. Now, there's also some North American migrants that I haven't gone through the list, and I'm doing this the hard way on an Excel spreadsheet. So it's very time consuming. I still have yet to figure out a better way to do it. Although people have been writing in saying, "Oh no, it's easy. You just do this and this and this and eBird." And I've tried it; it does not work. So, it's a Bill problem, I think.
It's a Bill problem.
It's a B-Bird problem.
It's not the software; it's the hardware.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So you alluded to scopes there, and that's a big tool that for optics that you need to have at a place like Homer, right?
Yeah.
For birding.
I mean, you're out there. Alaska, open area, scope is your instrument of choice in terms of optics to really see whether you're looking at sea ducks and loons and all that kind of stuff. Now, as a everyday birder, you're going around. How often do you use a spotting scope?
I made a pact with myself years ago that I was always going to carry a scope, and there have been numerous times that I've been so thankful that I had my scope. And you helped me actually, Ben, about 7 years ago or something. You talked me into getting one of those nice light carbon fiber tripods. It was expensive, but I bought it, and that's made it much easier for me to carry a scope. Plus, the scopes these days, you can do really well with one of the 65 millimeter scopes. They're less heavy. So I carry it all the time, and there have been times when way more often I'm happy that I had it than I'm like, why did I even bring this?
Yeah, exactly. It's those carbon fiber tripods are amazing. How much that can make your experience better. Oftentimes I'll talk to people about spotting scopes, and they'll look at one model versus the other, and they're weighing ounces. I want the lighter weight one and weighing a couple ounces, and I kind of tell them, all right, that's fine to save ounces on the scope, but when you're looking at your tripod, that's an opportunity to save pounds.
Right.
Exactly. So the nice weight carbon fiber tripods, and not only are they lightweight, but carbon fiber as a material dampens vibration. So even though they're lighter weight, in a windy situation, you will get a steadier image of that lighter weight tripod. Now, granted, if it gusts wind to come around, the fact that it's lighter weight, it could tip over. But if it's that windy, probably the birding's not going to be all that great anyways.
Yeah.
And just stay tight, stick close to your scope too.
Right. And it's information like that has made people the world over acclaim you as the LeBron James of birding optics and birding optics gear. Yeah.
So one of the things, though, that I will often tell people who are shopping for spotting scopes, because once again, within context, it's a shorebird festival, people are like, I need to get a scope. Tell me about spotting scopes. They think of it as a secondary instrument that maybe they're not going to spend as much money as they did on their binoculars on, right? Because they don't use it as much per se. But as you said, you carry yours all over the place, and I'm an advocate of doing that. But I think there's a strong case to be made by spending a lot on a spotting scope. And the reason that is that spotting scopes, more so than binoculars, are so much more impacted by quality. Right. And the reason that is because they operate these high magnifications. So you're not just magnifying the shorebird you're looking at, but you're also magnifying all the flaws and defects that happen as light passes through glass. So whereas a really good mid-priced pair of binoculars, the image might be outstanding at 8 power, you use that same glass and lens coating system and blow it up to 30 power, it's not as pretty. So that's my spotting scope advice for people, is saying if you want to splurge and get one really nice high-end piece of equipment, your return on a high-end spotting scope in terms of visual pleasure is going to be much greater.
Plus, and I always like to say this when people are asking about spotting scopes, you can use it for stargazing.
Yeah.
You can, which is phenomenal, especially an angled eyepiece scope, which I will never have anything other than an angled eyepiece scope.
I think these days, even the manufacturers, even the hunting market, which has been the traditional straight scope market, they're all seeing that switching over to angle these days too.
Right. Those are the straight shooters.
Yeah.
The other thing about a spotting scope is you can really give people, whether it's your, a non-birding friend or a kid or a grandkid, you can give people a mind-blowing wow moment with a spotting scope that you just can't do with binoculars.
You cannot set up a pair of binoculars really and say, look through these and have it pointing right at the Baltimore Oriole or the indigo bunting or even the bluebird. Looking at a bluebird through a spotting scope for some people can just be such a mind-blowing experience. I never knew it had all those colors or all that detail.
Exactly.
Or
And
spotting scopes.
For that reason, carrying a spotting scope along, just a couple weeks ago when we were down birding in New River and guiding, one of the things I love doing down there, and it's hard, but I take pride in being able to do it, is to get a warbler in the scope in the treetops. And when you get somebody, even somebody who's been a birder for years, when you get them a scope view of a cerulean warbler or a Blackburnian warbler or a Swainson's warbler, man, you hear, that's enough to make nuns cuss, man. That's like, you know what I'm saying? It's
I
like,
know what you're saying.
it's a mind blowing thing. And I just, there's something special about that. That kind of energy, man, that goes into you, and you store that up for, a rainy day when you really need to say.
Maybe that could be one of our new mottos for Red Start Birding. Red Start Birding, making nuns cuss since 2018.
What could possibly go wrong? Well, I had a really interesting experience. I was just up in Maine for a quick 2.5-day trip. Mm-hmm. And I know that your two girls are super smart. And I've talked about this before. We're so lucky as dads that our kids are so much smarter than we are. And they're going to be so much, they're already so much smarter than we are by the time they get to be, out of school, out of college. I mean, these are the people.
Set the bar moderately high, not that high though, but
right. Modest. We're at a modest level of intellect. And people might know that Phoebe does our voiceovers at the beginning and end of this podcast. Yeah. So I was so proud to go up. Phoebe got picked to give a speech to all of the trustees of her college and all the people that had donated money to the college for scholarships. It was the Scholarship Appreciation Luncheon, and Phoebe's big scholarship recipient there because it's a very expensive college in Maine. And I was so proud to sit there with the college president and a couple hundred other people and listen to Phoebe give the speech. It was just like, I can't even tell you how much my heart was bursting out of my chest. I was so proud.
Isn't that cool?
It's so great, isn't it, that, we've got, like, that'll be our legacy, man. Like, nobody's going to have these podcasts in a time capsule. Our legacy is going to be our kids, Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Carrying the flag on, be honest.
There.
Exactly. It was so nice. And so I'm getting ready to go up. Again, we're driving up to Maine this time to Phoebe's graduating from Bowdoin. And it's the same weekend that Liam would be graduating from Marietta High School. But he's skipping his graduation because he's such a good brother. So we can all go up and celebrate Phoebe's graduation and his in Maine. Yeah. And we're very excited about that. And then I will be carrying boxes of optics along with our suitcases and stuff.
That's right.
And I'm going to be passing those to our friend Becky Marvel, who's going to bring them to you at the Acadia Birding Festival.
Yep, that's going to be coming up. So I'm hoping that's my, if I don't get it this weekend or the next weekend, that's going to be my last chance to get some of these, warblers essentially that I still need to get.
You'll definitely get Cape May up there, man.
Yeah, I think so. That should be doable. Wilson's Warbler is another one of those ones where it's just like I saw ridiculous amounts of them last year in Costa Rica, but now that I'm counting them this year, nowhere to be seen.
Didn't we get one in Honduras?
Nope.
Huh. Well, I thought I just added that the other day up in Maine. I got to the morning before Phoebe's little banquet luncheon thing. I connected with our friend Jan Pearson from Field Guides.
Oh yeah.
And he was leading a field trip that day for the couple of the local Audubon clubs and land conservancy. So we went out and a lot of warblers. Spring was very slow up there too.
Okay.
And so you're going to be hitting it just about right up there, man.
I think so.
But I got Wilson's Warbler on that trip, and I thought, oh, good, I added Wilson's Warbler. Came back, and it was already checked on my list. So maybe I saw it. Well, I saw it somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah, maybe you were when you were off doing your thing with your group down there in Honduras.
Maybe so. I did just see a blue grosbeak here in southeast Ohio, which was driving into town the other day. It was sitting on the guardrail by this brushy woodland edge. Couldn't believe it. We're at the northern fringe of their breeding territory here, and we occasionally, about once every 15 years, we'll get one nesting in our county here in southeast Ohio.
Bonus bird good. Then.
It was a bonus bird. But, I'm surprised that we're as close as we are. And as we get toward the end of the year, I think it's going to be a really amazing finish.
I'm curious about this little trick you have up your sleeve.
Yeah, it's okay. Just you just have to think about it for a while. Now, listen, one other bit that we have to decide about the Global Big Ear Challenge trademark is we're raising money for something. And I have an idea about this. But
do you now?
Yeah, I mean, and we've gotten some good suggestions from people, and they've been really good ones to consider. And that we'll still put them all in a hat and pull them out one at a time and consider them. But I was thinking maybe we should do something where the number of birds we get, like somehow we donate that amount of money into a fund for young birders something. I would really like to pay it forward to young birders. So we need to think more about this.
I like the idea of a young birders kind of, vibe to this.
Right.
Because obviously, they're going to be the ones who are going to be the stewards of wildlife, in the future. I've got some ideas, young birders. I know I've worked with Tyler Harms with the Iowa Young Birders Club, and Carl Bendorf, who's going to be one of our local guides when we do our Colorado Reader Rendezvous. Is that next month already?
It's
in
next
June?
month. It's like a month from.
Dang. So Carl was involved in the Iowa Young Birders Club. So I've got a little bit of a kind of soft spot in my heart for the Iowa Young Birders Club, just because I've been involved with them kind of when I was at Eagle Optics, and now with Red Start we're doing some stuff with them. So, but we can suss that out, I'm sure.
Okay, well, let's think about it, because I think there's something good in there that we can connect to, and we can make this not just about our giant, massive, throbbing egos and our bird lists. We can also do some good and help the world turn in a happy direction.
Oh, Bill, that's beautifully said.
Well, thanks, man. It's way better than making nuns cuss.
That's right.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we should end, because we're going to start deteriorating.
From there, yeah.
Can only go down.
Right.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too, Bill.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Out There with the Birds. Special thanks to Swarovski, our optics sponsor. Learn more about their fine line of birding and lifestyle optics at SwarovskiOptic.com. That's Swarovski followed by optic with a K.com. If you love to take photos of birds, Tamron telephoto camera lenses offer powerful performance that exceeds your imagination. Discover more at tinyurl.com/Tamron-BWD. Your source for the best birding optics is Red Start Birding. Great birding starts here. RedStartBirding.com. Finally, we're also supported by the wonderfully enriching Reader Rendezvous birding trips from Birdwatchers Digest. Your next birding adventure starts at birdwatchersdigest.com/RR. Tune in next time for some more enchanting bantering from the birding dudes, Bill and Ben. Until then, this is Phoebe reminding you to keep your owls hooting and your trumpeter swans tooting, and we'll see you out there with the birds.